Hi, welcome to the garden today. And the face you see next to me may look familiar. The glasses probably look familiar. The purple hair probably looks familiar. But this face popped up in my Facebook today. Um, and it is one of those rare, hardly found, not even by National Geographic photos of me when I weighed 300 pounds. Um, I got very good at avoiding cameras, but on this particular occasion, that's why the lighting's so bad. We were at lunch. Someone had taken us out to lunch for my daughter, and we just had a lovely meal. And obviously, if you look at that picture, I'd had a lot of lovely meals. Anyway, that's gone away. Um, so I'm going to talk about weight loss, and I've talked about it, kind of talked around the edges about it before. Put up a celebratory thing when I got to 199. I'm a little bit less than that right now. Not much because I've been having breathing problems and I'm using steroids and they stopped my weight loss dead in its tracks. But I want to talk about what motivated me from the picture you saw to where I am today, and what has that journey been a little bit like, and what did I use. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's no crystal in the world that I could have hung on to, except maybe a grounding one to hold me to the earth, that could have helped do this. I had to finally decide in my own mind that I wanted to get in touch with myself. And I know that sounds weird, but I just wasn't in touch with that, who and what I look like. I had serious dysmorphia and had no idea that I looked that large. I thought I looked like what I look like now, but maybe a little smaller. So that's pretty not in touch with the world. And I had tried weight loss before, done Weight Watchers, done calorie counting, done the diabetic thing, but I knew I was bumping up against some pretty serious diseases and that I really wanted to get a hold of it. So 2 years ago, I was going around looking at courses and things to do, and I'd taken some courses in tarot and a couple courses in crystals on a site called Daily Ohm, and I'm going to put all these names in the paperwork below. And I found this weird technique called tapping, and it's where you reaffirm by tapping on limbic system spots on your body. And they had one on weight loss, so I took it. Now, I wasn't losing weight while I was doing this, but I was definitely getting rid of some of my negative self-talk. And I also listened to some neurolinguistic programming people about that, and helped me move and do some things that, towards changing my own, what I was saying to my own brain and what I was saying to myself. And I also at that point was doing some meditation, and the meditations I was doing, I became aware of the fact that my heart was kind of blocked. There's a lot of stuff I didn't want to let go of, literally and figuratively. And when I would meditate, I'd get shaken out of being in a very calm mood by things cropping up. So I was doing some meditation at that point. And then I went to get some acupuncture, which is what Rosie's going to be about next week. And I went in to go to sleep because I just wasn't sleeping well. And they said, oh, well, we can do a couple of things. So they brought down my blood pressure, and they brought it down 30 points in a half-hour session, which is a whole lot. And like when I stood up to walk out, they had to give me some tea and kind of walk me around the room for a while to make sure I was okay to drive my car. So that's how I got to acupuncture and found out that there was this great way to relax. And when I got my blood pressure down and I got my self-talk in control, I started to listen to what I was saying to other people and what they were saying back to me. Now, I had done a lot to get myself out of being anonymous by dyeing my hair purple, which I did while I still weighed 300 pounds. And I'd gotten my glasses, which I'd gotten before I dyed my hair purple. So it's like I knew some part of me was reaching out and saying, you can do this differently. Then a friend of mine, one of my cheerleaders in my life, she called me up and we were talking and she said, oh, I've lost 50 pounds. And she's kind of like me, short and round. And I can remember when we were in our 30s going out and walking around the park, trying to get some exercise in to lose those extra weight. And I said, how'd you do it? And because she has a very stressful career. And she said, oh, I found this diet called keto and it's really easy for me to do it. And so, maybe you ought to look into it. So I did. I went on YouTube and I found a guy named Thomas DeLauer, who's also in the description below. And Thomas was just starting a keto challenge, 30-day keto challenge. And he had what you need to eat each day, what the food was, when to eat, because you don't eat all day long. You eat the tighter the window is, the better, actually. And I thought, well, I could do that for 30 days. I mean, I can do pretty much anything for 30 days. So I tried it for 30 days and I noticed after the first couple of days, I was never hungry. And that was kind of amazing to me because I'm the sort of person that when I'd schedule a doctor's appointment and they needed to do a fasting blood sugar, I'd say, can you get me in at 7:30? And if they said, well, we don't have an appointment until afternoon, I'd say, can we move it to another day? Because there's no way I was going from dinner to the next morning and then not eating something when I got up the next morning. So all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I'm not really all that hungry, but I kept eating at certain times, just kind of a habit thing. And then when you start watching about keto, they'll talk about fasting. And fasting is what you think. Fasting means not eating. And I was like, and they talk about, 24-hour fast and you get this autophagy and all. And I was like, sure, I'll live without it. And one day I'd been reading at the wine place the night before and had been very good drinking my iced tea and just sitting there reading cards. And I got up the next day and I got up kind of earlier than usual because I had to run some errands. So it was one of those days where you go to run an errand and then that sends you to the next place and go to the next place, you go to the next place. And before I knew it, I got home and I realized it had been 24 hours since I'd eaten a meal. I mean, eaten anything. I mean, I'd had tea and a little bit of coffee, just plain black coffee. And I went, damn, something inside of me is changing. Well, and the whole time you're shrinking because you're living off the fat of the land, which if you looked at the other photo, I had enough of to do. So then I started really getting into watching about keto, and some of the keto shows that I'm going to talk about are the ones that I found the most inspiring. There's a woman named Jess who runs a channel called Keto Rewind, and Jess started at heavier than I was, and she was 300 something pounds, but a younger woman, and she wanted to rewind her life and get herself more in control. And she's done a brilliant job of it. I mean, she really, really has. But she explains to you, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not anything else. I'm just showing you my journey. And in some ways, Jess's journey and showing that to you is kind of why I want to talk about my journeys with rocks and crystals and tarot and all the rest of it. And she messes up. I mean, she went on a vacation and went and ran up and down the beaches in Florida. Obviously, it's pre-COVID, and did all this stuff and gained weight. I mean, ate all the foods you're not supposed to eat and, paid the price. Now, for me, gaining the weight wouldn't be so much, but the surprise element to me in this weight loss is the pain going away, the arthritis going away, the inflammation going away, the never having to take an aspirin because your head hurts going away. And that even includes in the times when I have difficulty because of my breathing, which is a totally separate mechanical problem of my lungs. I don't have any of the kind of real achy overall hideous feeling I used to have. So, and she talks about that. She talks about, you're hacking your own body and you have to decide the best way to hack it. So then I started watching for some good food on keto. And there's a channel out of Wisconsin called Serious Keto. And he's a very interesting man. He was a Pillsbury Doughboy bodied executive and has shrunk it down and looks good and goes through and kind of hacks his old recipes, his old gooey recipes, and tries to make them into something, that make it keto, keep it within the confines of the macros and all that stuff. I'm not going to explain that to you. If you're interested in keto, go look at Thomas DeLauer, go listen to Jess, and then I'm going to give you the names of 3 doctors that I found. One is Dr. Berg, who he does a whole lot on nutrition. He does a lot on vitamin supplements. He does a lot on those sorts of things, and his shows aren't very long. There's another guy named Dr. Sten Ekberg, who was a decathlete. I think he did something in the Olympics. And he's still, really good looking, solidly built man. And he gets into all the medical ins and outs of doing keto. There's also Dr. Ken Berry, MD, who's from Tennessee. And I enjoyed listening to him because he's got a really good sense of humor, very approachable talking points. And he runs a good show too, to pick up tips and ideas. And if you want a book about keto, Eric Berg had one I loaded down on my Kindle, and it's Body Type, and it explains why different sorts of people lose weight differently and the adjustments you can make to your diet and to your activity level to help with that. So that's kind of that part of the world. I talked about daily Om and tapping. It's a good source for lots of things, yoga, a lot of lifestyle things at a very, very affordable price. I mean, they let you kind of say what you want to pay. And I took a really interesting tarot course here, and I took an interesting course in crystals. So if you're looking for something that's much more systematic than my daily program, I would suggest you go over there. Then I want to thank Scott Allen and Andrea were doing their Mystery Theater on Wednesday, and Scott pulled out his big piece of selenite. I'm not kidding, guys. It was huge. And he was saying, well, I got to keep up with Nancy Jean, got to have my crystal here. And he had some other pretty crystals that he showed. And, it's nice to see other people share that passion. And Andrea, of course, she loves crystals with lilac, lavender. And then Andrea also had on Robert, the Akashic Records guy, and they talked about how the Atlanteans used crystals. And it's a really interesting show. It was on, she taped it on, and they put it up on March 4th. It was a very interesting show, very enlightening. I really liked what he had to say about positioning and crystals and stuff. He and I had talked about that. He did my Akashic Records, which was an interesting thing to have done. And also, I want to give a shout out to Celtic Sheila, because she's another person who's been fond of, and Kim from Intuitive View. But also, I have an announcement today. My website's completely, the shop's completely up, and we have eggs. We have eggs. We have them now completely together and ready to go. I showed them to people and said, this is coming, this is coming. I wanted to be sure we had a manufacturing plant and the people to get it out. There's still a 4 to 6 week, we're putting that proviso on it because all acrylic things take temperature and time. So, and these are individually put together. The crystal is the design that I discussed and a designer created for me in Florida, and the fabricator in Colorado is working as hard as she can to get them up and fabricated. We have the bases now. We have all the stuff. We have the cards. We have the wands, the activators that you can activate them with. So if you're interested in that, you can go to my website this evening, and there should be pictures of them and how to buy them and how to get on the list for that. And that's the first of the 12 eggs that are going to be in that series. I'm really proud of those because to me, it's a way I can give back. Like I said, I had a hard heart, and that's the heart chakra. And I think working with that crystal, because I had to really work with my heart to get my heart to a place where I could understand, I could forgive, I could move forward. So it's really, really important crystal to me. And I hope you'll go look at it, at least look at it, and look at our woo-woo merchandise. The woo-woo crew cups are there, the t-shirts, and I got we got several of them to see how they fit. They fit really well because I'm happy they fit this body really well, but I also they are very comfortable, and we have hoodies and all that good stuff. So if you want to be part of the woo woo crew, head on over to crystaldirections.com and go to the store. And with that, I'm going to close for you. I do want to remind you, if you have questions you want to know about specific crystals or something like that, give me a message in the comments, or you can email me at crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com, and I'll for sure see them. I look at the comments every day. I go through and try to call through and help people. And we got a lot of other things in the works to try and help people work with and learn crystals more easily. So take care. Thank you for coming on my journey with me. Thank you for being there to help me, support me on this journey, because that really, really does help. All your comments and all the gracious things subscribers have said and done, I really, really appreciate it. So if you are interested in my channel, most nights we're not talking about weight loss, but you can go there, you can subscribe, like, and share. Share the message if you think it's something that someone else could benefit from. You never know. Take care. Bye.